When I married Claire, I believed we were building a partnership. We didn't have much, but we had each other, or so I thought. I worked long hours at the firm, grinding through endless deadlines, just so we could afford a comfortable life together. Claire, meanwhile, had chosen not to work. I didn't mind at first. I told myself I wanted to provide for her, to give her a sense of security. But as the months passed, cracks began to show. It wasn't about money. It was about affection, or rather, the lack of it. Claire gradually stopped touching me altogether. No hugs when I came home, no kisses before bed, no intimacy. At first, I brushed it off as stress or mood swings. But after almost a year of coldness, it became clear. She was making a choice. One night, I brought it up. I sat across from her at the dining table, my briefcase still by the door. "Claire," I said gently, "we need to talk. I feel like you've shut me out. There's no affection anymore. What's going on?" She didn't even look up from her phone. "Don't expect affection," she said flatly, her tone laced with irritation. The words hit me like a slap. I stared at her, searching for some sign that she was joking, that this was a passing mood. But her expression was stone cold. She didn't care how much it hurt. "Don't expect affection?" I repeated slowly. "What does that even mean, Claire? We're married. Affection is part of a relationship. It's not optional." She finally put the phone down and crossed her arms. "I'm tired of you asking for things. I don't feel like it, and I don't owe you anything. Stop acting entitled." Her dismissive tone cut deeper than any argument could. For years, I had worked myself to the bone to give her a life where she didn't have to lift a finger. And now she was telling me that basic love and warmth were too much to ask. That night, I lay awake replaying her words over and over. I realized something I had ignored for far too long. Marriage is supposed to be a partnership, not a one-way street. If she could openly tell me not to expect affection, then maybe it was time I stopped providing the things she had come to take for granted. The next morning, I decided I would give her an answer she wouldn't forget. The next morning, I didn't rush out the door like usual. I sat across from Claire at the breakfast table, sipping my coffee slowly while she scrolled on her phone. She didn't even acknowledge me. The silence between us was suffocating, but I had made up my mind. "Claire," I said calmly, breaking the stillness. "About what you said last night." She didn't bother looking up. "What about it? You said not to expect affection." "Fine. But if that's how you feel, then don't expect protection or money from me either." Her phone froze mid-scroll. She slowly lifted her head, her eyes narrowing. "What the hell is that supposed to mean?" I leaned back, keeping my voice steady. "It means I've been killing myself working long hours to support this lifestyle. Meanwhile, you've made it crystal clear that you don't care about giving back even the most basic parts of a marriage. If affection isn't part of the deal anymore, then neither is financial security." Her face twisted in disbelief. "You're threatening me? You think you can just cut me off because I don't want to play housewife for you anymore?" I couldn't help but let out a bitter laugh. "Housewife? Claire, you don't cook. You don't clean. You don't work. What exactly do you do? The one thing I've asked for is love and affection. Something free, something natural. And you're telling me that's too much. So yes, if that's the case, don't expect me to keep playing the provider while you give nothing in return." Her jaw dropped. For once, she didn't have a quick comeback. I could see the panic setting in as the reality of what I said began to sink in. She had been so used to me bending over backward to keep her comfortable, that the thought of me pulling the rug out from under her was unthinkable. "You wouldn't dare," she hissed, though her voice lacked the confidence it once carried. "Try me," I said simply, standing up and grabbing my briefcase. "I'm done financing a one-sided marriage." Her phone slipped from her hand and clattered on the table. For the first time in a long while, I saw fear in her eyes. Not fear of losing me, but fear of losing the lifestyle she had grown accustomed to. As I walked out the door, her voice followed me, shaking, desperate, and unlike anything I had heard from her before. "Wait. You can't just walk away like this." But I didn't turn back. For once, I felt like I had the upper hand. And it was only the beginning. That evening, when I came back from work, the house wasn't filled with its usual silence. Claire was pacing the living room, mascara smudged around her eyes, her hair tied in a messy knot. She looked like she hadn't moved all day. The moment she saw me, she rushed forward. "Listen, I didn't mean it like that," she said, her voice trembling. "I was tired, I was upset. Of course I care about you." I put my keys on the table and stared at her. "Care about me? Claire, you've shown me nothing but indifference for months. Now that I've threatened to cut off the money, suddenly you find your feelings." Her lip quivered. "It's not like that." I was overwhelmed. "You don't know how hard it is to keep everything together." I almost laughed. "Keep what together? You don't work. You don't contribute. I do everything. The only thing you had to do was love me, and you couldn't even manage that." She sank onto the couch, covering her face with her hands. "Please don't do this. Don't take away the money. What will people think if I have to move back in with my parents? I'll be humiliated." And there it was, the truth. She wasn't afraid of losing me. She was afraid of losing the image, the comfort, the convenience. Something inside me hardened. "Claire, do you even hear yourself? You're more worried about what people will think than about our marriage. That says everything I need to know." Her head snapped up, desperation flashing in her eyes. No, I can change. I'll be better. I'll show you affection. I'll make more effort. Just don't leave me. Don't cut me off. Please." For years, I had dreamed of hearing her say those words. But now, standing in front of her broken promises, they felt empty. Forced. Too late. "I don't want your affection because you're scared of losing money," I said coldly. "I want it because you love me." But clearly that was never the case. Tears streamed down her face, and she reached out as if to touch me. But I stepped back. "I warned you, Claire. Actions have consequences. You told me not to expect affection, so don't expect protection or money." I meant every word. Her sobs filled the room as I turned and walked upstairs. For the first time in years, I felt a sense of freedom rather than defeat. She had tried to use my love as leverage, but in the end, it was her mask that shattered. Her reaction was priceless, not because I enjoyed her pain, but because I finally saw the truth laid bare. She had never valued me, only what I provided. And now she was about to lose both.